When you can't see the big picture, remember, God is with you. What's up, NXTGEN? If you are alive right now, you've experienced loss. Maybe it's been loss of a sports season, loss of seeing your friends every day, loss of being able to finish 8th grade with big school celebrations, loss of your regular routine, and the list goes on and on and on. Sometimes we lose bigger things, loss of people who are close to us, loss of friends, or loss of opportunities that we were excited for. We all know what it feels like to take a loss in life. And no matter if the loss was something that you are currently going through or a loss in the past, the reality is that losses in life are coming. Loss is an unavoidable part of being human. And when we are in the middle of losses, it's really hard to see the bigger picture. So, is there something more to our losses? And is there something that maybe we've been missing that can help us get through our losses? If anybody understood what it meant to take a loss in life, it was our guy Joseph. Last week, Jeff started out our study on the life of Joseph found in the back of the book of Genesis. And it starts out with some crazy family tension and also some really weird dreams that Joseph had. Let's move on in our study on Joseph and read Genesis 37, 18 through 36. So take a minute, grab your Bibles or open up your Bible app and let's read this passage. Now this is crazy, huh? And you thought your family had issues. So after Joseph was bragging to his brothers about these grand dreams that he was having, his brothers were so fed up with him that they actually wanted to kill him, and in fact, they were planning to. But at the last minute, Reuben, one of Joseph's brothers, said, no, you know what, let's not kill him. Let's throw him in a dried up well in the wilderness. Yeah, like that's better. Let's not kill him. Let's have him starve to death in an empty well. It turns out that soon the brothers see a group of traders who are traveling by and they decide to sell Joseph into slavery for 20 pieces of silver. And to give you an idea, 20 pieces of silver was not that much money, but they were looking for the extra cash. Now this story can seem a little unbelievable. I mean, can you imagine selling your sibling into slavery? Never mind, don't answer that. But of all these things that happened to Joseph in this story, every single one of them was out of his control. He couldn't do anything to stop it. And a lot of times, our losses feel the exact same way. We find ourselves in situations that are hopeless or difficult or painful, and we can't do anything to stop it. And just like Joseph, we feel completely out of control. And I don't know about you, but when I feel abandoned, tossed away, or lost like Joseph was, I can't see the bigger picture of what's happening around me. And if someone was to come to me and tell me that God was working on something much bigger, I would have a really hard time believing them. But later in Joseph's story comes this short, simple verse that is repeated throughout the midst of Joseph's story. And I think that it can give us the bigger picture that we can hold on in the middle of our losses. It's this: the Lord was with Joseph. When his brothers wanted to kill him, the Lord was with Joseph. When he was thrown into an empty well, the Lord was with Joseph. When he was sold into slavery, the Lord was with Joseph. When you can't see the bigger picture, remember God is with you. In whatever pit you've been tossed into, and whatever loss you are facing, and whatever tough circumstance you are going through, remember God is with you. Let me share an analogy with you because it's kind of like flying in a plane. And I'm not sure how many of you have flown in a plane before, but there's something really cool about being so high up. See, when you are on the ground and you step outside of your house, you can see your house, you can see the street, you can see a few of the neighbors' houses, you can see the sky, you can see some trees, and that's about it. But when you get into a plane, say at the Boise airport, and you take off and you get up high, you can see not just your house, but your whole neighborhood. and not just your whole neighborhood, but the whole city of Nampa. And not just the whole city of Nampa, but you can see the entire Treasure Valley. See, when we get high up, we realize that there is actually way more going on. The difficult thing is that we don't often get the chances to see this kind of view, but God does. Maybe you've heard of the bird's eye view. Well, I call this the God's eye view. So, if we don't have it, but God does, that means that we have the opportunities to learn to trust that God has the bigger picture in mind. With this in mind, here are 2 things that we can start to do. First thing, believe that God is with you. For some of you, you need to start with a daily reminder that even though your life may suck, that God is still with you. You see, in following Jesus, He doesn't promise us a pain-free life, but in following Jesus, He promises that He will create purpose out of your pain and loss. Begin by trusting that God has the bigger picture and that He works good for those who trust Him and who lean into Him. And number 2, look for God's presence. It's one thing to believe that God is with you, but it's a whole different thing to actually experience that God is with you. And God shows Himself to us in so many different ways. Through music, nature, scripture, through family, friends, or church. He will even speak to us in our hearts and through our thoughts. This week, as you are remembering that God is with you, look for the little ways and the big ways alike that God is showing up in your life. Keep your eyes open to Him. And look for God's presence in the way that your friends take care of you, or the way your parents meet a need for you, or the way a song on the radio encourages you. And when you can't see the bigger picture, remember God is with you. Hey guys, thanks for joining us for another week. We really miss you guys and we hope that you're doing well. We hope that you're continuing to stay plugged in and connected to God during this time. And we look forward to hearing from you guys throughout the week.